Welcome to our Q&A session on ActiveNet. Today I'm really pleased that I'm being joined by a number of people who have really supported us to deliver an ActiveNet Scotland event. Today, can I just ask people to just do a quick round table for me and introduce themselves? So I'm going to start with Dawn-Ann. Can you tell us who you are and what you do, please?
Hi, I'm Dawn-Ann, and I'm the Engagement and Operations Manager with the Scottish Leisure Network Group. So I'm one of the people that most of the members have probably already heard from me. I kind of badger them with emails and things like that, and just generally help them with the admin of what events have been running with the group.
Excellent, thank you, Dawn-Ann. Susie.
Hi, morning everybody. My name's Susie Benson and I am Partnerships Executive with CIMSPA, and part of my role is basically to help to support our Scottish operations, both with our strategic partners such as Sport Scotland, the SQA, Public Health Scotland, but also our more operational partners including employers across Scotland and trading providers as well.
Excellent, thank you very much, Susie. Johnny.
Hi, Johnny Curley. With Hutchison Technologies, one of the directors, and here today to give you a bit of an overview and an insight from a supplier's perspective.
Excellent, thank you. And David?
Thanks, David McCorkindale, Head of Leisure and Community for Inverclyde Leisure, obviously dealing with the day-to-day operations of the company, and in terms of being down to LeisureNet before, and the last one was at Nottingham, and very beneficial to Inverclyde Leisure and see new suppliers.
Excellent, thank you, David. And we also have a couple of guests online. Alan, would you just let us know who you are and what you do, please?
Of course, Dave. Hi, everyone. My name's Alan Cunningham. I'm the Indoor Leisure Service Manager for Renfrewshire Leisure. Been in post in 2019. Really keen, obviously, to listen to the panel. Know some of the panel really well. Through the Leisure Network, and it's great to be part of this today.
Okay, excellent. Thanks, Alan. And Matt, I'm not sure if you can hear us, but would you like to do a quick intro?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Hi, I'm Matt Evans. I work for Hustle. We're a membership marketing platform, and just come on board today to as an introduction to learn more and to hopefully learn some insights from the panel as well.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Nice to see you, Matt. Okay, so Johnny, I know you have to go at 10:30, so I'll just do a quick overview of what ActiveNet is, and then I'm going to ask you to give me your supplier view, because actually I think you've been to both a physical event and an online event, so it'll be really interesting to get that insight. So ActiveNet is 8 years old. It's predominantly and always has been pre-pandemic a face-to-face event, and it's a combination of things, and there's three core elements of ActiveNet. The first one is around CPD. It's around getting speakers that are from their representative organisations like UK Active and CIMSPA, Sport Scotland, Sport England, etc., to give their views on what is currently happening within the marketplace at this moment in time. Always really valuable, and we always link CIMSPA continuous professional development points to that. So if you're a member of CIMSPA and you need to build your CPD, you actually get 2 points as a result of seeing that. The second element of the ActiveNet is about networking. It's about informal networking. So lots of opportunities, lots of breaks for coffee and things like that, so that you can catch up with people you've not seen for a long time, or just meet new people, which is really, really important to the whole ethos of what we're about. Hence the word net. It was going to be active networking, but somebody had already stolen that domain name when we came to register it. And then the third part is about, from buyer's point of view, it's about finding new suppliers and new opportunities to enhance the customer experience, the things that you deliver within your environment. And from a supplier's point of view, it's about really getting to a group of buyer operations very, very quickly, and a way that can pre-qualify conversations. Good morning, Robin. Just to let you know, we are recording. Robin, could you just give us a quick intro? Tell us who you are so that we've got it for the recording, please.
Hi there, I'm Robin Mitchell. Can you all hear me?
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. I was just struggling to get on there. I'm not used to Teams. I'm so used to Zoom or Google Meet. There are so many platforms, but I know the local authorities like Teams, so I need to try and get used to it. I'm from Pioneering Pool Solutions. It's hard to describe what I am, to be honest. I'm a Scotland fan today. You might be able to notice that. I'm a swimming pool technical health and safety consultant. I think that's probably what describes me best of all. I deliver pool plant operators training. I offer bacteriological sampling. I do project work. I recognise some faces that I do work for on the screen. Hi to David and David McCorkindale. Yeah, all things swimming pool water treatment related, I try and get my fingers into, and I work quite closely with PewTag and so on, and that's a kind of brief background on me. Yeah, so.
Thank you, Robin. That's brilliant. And what's really interesting is Robin was actually recommended by a previous supplier, Robin McLaughlin of Pool View Systems. So it's really nice when you get referrals. And I did consider having an England flag in the background, but I changed my mind. I thought I was in the minority a little bit, so I thought I'd better not. So thanks for that, Robin. So the important part of our event, our one-to-one meetings, is that they are actually scheduled. And the meetings are scheduled based on people's choices. So we asked both buyers and suppliers to choose who they want to meet. And the really interesting piece there is, of course, we match the top one. So if Alan has decided he needs to see Robin, then that will be quite high. But if Robin says he wants to see Alan as well, then that one definitely happens. So we schedule meets based on both needs, not just the supplier needs or just the buyer needs. And it's really important because it means the buyers sit down with the suppliers and say, look, I know who you are. I've chosen to meet with you. This is what I want to do. Can you do it? So we've worked really, really hard on an algorithm within our scheduler to try and make sure that the meetings are very, very much scheduled. And a normal event, face-to-face, is normally 16. The events we're going to run online are going to be a 10 meeting event. And I think that's really enough from me about ActiveNet, apart from the fact I'm incredibly proud of the fact we have a 94% net promoter score average across all of our events. And the biggest piece for me personally is that 97% of all meetings scheduled have occurred. And that's pretty impressive when you start thinking about having 50 suppliers in a room and 16 meetings across the piece. So we work really, really hard to make sure that the suppliers get the meetings they want and the buyers get the new experiences that they need. So I'm going to start this session with Johnny. Just give us an overview, Johnny, as a supplier, as to why you would come to ActiveNet, particularly actually as you've been to both physical and online, and actually from two different companies as well. I've just remembered that. So you must be quite an advocate, Johnny.
No, absolutely. Thank you, David. I think firstly, probably got two hats on today. I think the first hat from the Scottish Leisure Network Group involvement, my involvement there has been, luckily gone to events all over Europe and further afield, but it was really trying to bring back to Scotland quality events, and I think ActiveNet is one of the best events in the UK. And when we had a conversation about bringing ActiveNet to Scotland, the idea is just to bring quality events to Scotland. So that was the kind of first starting point in the kind of like having the hat on for Scottish Leisure Network Group. The second point of going to these networking events is that you actually get, a good group. Correct me if I'm wrong, David, it was about 12 to 14 meetings.
Yeah, that's right.
And you get to sit down and you get 15 minutes in front of a customer to understand a bit more about them and give them the opportunity to present your company. I have seen it from two different companies. I would say that these networking events are very, very beneficial. We still benefit in going to the more traditional trade shows, but actually getting in front of people and being able to kind of bond closer with them, absolutely fantastic. So in person, brilliant event. I have to be honest and say I really, we're wanting to support ActiveNet this year, but we were a little bit uncertain about how well it would work online. It was phenomenally good, and the big difference from me were that the suppliers weren't rushing around the room and sitting down and actually going, right, I'm at table 18, right, I've got here 5 minutes just to kind of go, oh, right, okay. And So everyone was sitting at home, dead relaxed, and actually going, and I felt like really prepared for the meeting. And just that slightly more relaxed worked really, really well. And I'm not saying I'm not relaxed at the meeting, but it was, I think it was as good, if not better, than the face-to-face stuff. Very surprised by that.
That's excellent, and I think that's a combination of feedback. That plus actually the noise levels, because of course when you're in a room with 50 tables and 100 people talking at the same time, the noise levels are very, very different to those that are, as we're now experiencing, stood or sat in front of our PCs and having that conversation, Johnny. So absolutely, and thank you so much for the feedback for the online, because I have to say I was incredibly nervous about that, because I thought we'd lose the personal touch, but I think we managed to keep that, and the feedback for us has been fantastic. So
even in between, you know, going to this sort of networking spaces and being able to join individual or groups of people, it worked really, really well. So no, it was very good.
Excellent, thank you, Johnny, and thank you for introducing the Scottish Leisure Network piece and that piece around quality events in Scotland. So I think that's really important. And Dawn Ann, if it's okay, can I come to you? Scottish Leisure Network has been absolutely fantastic in supporting in this, and I've had the privilege of obviously doing some chairing work with your AGM and things like that, which I really enjoyed, and it was so good for me to get a Scotland lens on what's going on at the moment, because obviously I live and work in England, and I you know, I'm part of CIMSPA and we do a lot in Scotland and in England, but it was really interesting to get that Scotland view. So from Scottish Leisure Network Group's point of view, why is these types of events so important to you?
Well, I think the thing is something that Johnny's already kind of related to is the Scottish Leisure Network, because, you know, the secret's actually in the name, but we've witnessed firsthand the benefit of bringing operators together and just sharing knowledge, best practice. It's been phenomenal, and I think if anything, it's caused the group to go from strength to strength now as well. So that opportunity to bring people together, people have all got different skills, different experiences, and I think the thing to encourage our Scottish Leisure Network Group members to come along to ActiveNet is it's a time saving for them of having been able to access a lot of suppliers all in the room at the one time, and sometimes they may not necessarily be looking actively at that moment, but just want to do a bit of finding out information. Phenomenal opportunity for them, because you can really be focused and just blast these meetings out as such. And, you know, as Johnny's saying, your virtual went incredibly well, but again, there's the in-person as well, and we do look forward to that. But I think the opportunity ActiveNet presents to the members in introducing new products, services and experiences, and having it in a sort of a condensed piece of time from the comfort of your own home for this 8th of September, ideal, absolutely ideal.
Yeah, it's a really interesting point actually, Dawn Ann, because when I send out the schedules to our operators and say, look, here's your 16 meetings, we'll get people coming back saying, oh, I don't know who they are, I don't want to see them, and I don't want to see them, and I always stand my ground and say, look, there's an opportunity here, there's a chance to meet somebody, it's 20 minutes, you never know what will happen. And the most of my feedback that comes back is from those extra meetings that I put on, because I pride myself in understanding what organisations are looking for. I've had a look at their websites to see the types of things they do. And I really like the fact I can introduce new things to new people just by pushing them a little bit on those meeting schedules. And then the final bit, of course, is I can't wait to come up to Crieff Hydro in September 2021. I spent 3 hours there having a look round, and it just convinced me it was a great place to be. Yeah. So not to have gone up and been part of that wonderful scenery in that beautiful hotel, I can't wait to do this face-to-face next year.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what, David, I think the thing that we've all witnessed as being part of the Scottish Leisure Network Group, it all just starts for a conversation. It's amazing, just bringing people together. One thing can lead to another. So no, there's a power in the network. So yeah, bring it on. Look forward to it.
Fabulous. Thank you. Robin, you're flashing at me. Is there a reason for that?
I should be.
No, I think it's just background noise. That's fine. I thought you were trying to get my attention. So, Susie, I'm coming to you, Susie. You know, CIMSPA and yourself have always been big supporters of ActiveNet. You know, I think Tara's spoken at every single ActiveNet we've ever done, and she's going to speak at this one together with Sport Scotland, Public Health Scotland. We've also got UK Active coming along, and obviously Scottish Leisure Network Group. And we're giving some opportunity to some suppliers to be part of the panels as well, because we've got the theme, which is bridging the gap between leisure and health. And then we're looking at digital, we're looking at workforce, and we're looking at how that actually is going to work within Scotland. So, Susie, what's important to CIMSPA from this point of view around supporting the events?
Thanks, David. I think from a CIMSPA perspective, the involvement within ActiveNet is huge, if I'm honest. So when we think about the network that's involved in ActiveNet, and also if I put my hat on, Johnny, from the Scottish Leisure Network Group as well as CIMSPA, there's a big key piece in this for us around workforce development. So being able to bring people together for buyer and supplier meetings, that is fantastic, and it's definitely a huge time-saving measure for a lot of individuals and organisations. But actually, when we look at the format of ActiveNet and being able to provide CPD opportunities and some development opportunities and updates, for me, that's a real key critical piece in all of this, because it's not often that there is so many different individuals from so many different organisations across the entirety of the sector that come together. So the session, David, in September with ActiveNet, and when we look at the title and how we're going to help to support bridging the gap between leisure and public health, basically, there's a lot of work going on in the background with Scottish Government, with Sport Scotland, with Public Health Scotland around Changing Lives agenda. So looking at how we, as a sector, can better support inactive people to become active. And what we have seen over the past 18 months throughout COVID is that actually one of the, it's a bit crude to say, but one of the best public health campaigns for people to be fit and active is a global health pandemic where you can only go out and exercise 1 hour per day. So we've seen differing levels of physical activity, and there's also a slight inequality over physical activity at the moment as well. So we see older people that potentially can't get out the house a bit more than what they did and have not been able to access different classes and facilities throughout the period of lockdown. But then we also see the younger generation moving towards a more digital operation and looking at how they can still deliver their services to their customers and clients using Microsoft Teams, for instance, and Zoom, and going through that means. So I think there's an element of ActiveNet that is really, really important through all these developments and through a lot of the work that CIMSPA have been doing with Scottish Leisure Network Group, with the SQA in Scotland, with Public Health Scotland, with Sport Scotland, to help to bring that sector together and really looking at how we can help to share that message. And what we saw last year is actually when we look at leisure operations and exercise, health and fitness, the Scottish Leisure Network Group had a huge part to play in Scotland about supporting organisations last year. And if we think about the sport side of things and facilities, Sport Scotland provided a huge degree of support around return to sport guidance and what facilities can and can't do within the Scottish Government restrictions. So being able to start to help to bring the sector together with a level of understanding across all different areas, and actually how we can work better together, and using ActiveNet as a vehicle to provide some development opportunities for that as well, I think it's a real goldmine opportunity for the entirety of the sector to be involved in.
Excellent. And it's really interesting because we obviously did a similar type of agenda in the event we ran in March, and we recorded both the keynote networking panel with all speakers on plus the breakouts, and we've had nearly 2,700 views of those recordings. So the biggest advantage we had to the online product, it was so much easier to record and share that with others. So once we've recorded, obviously, the ones in Scotland on the 8th of September, we'll then be able to share them, and you'll be able to share them. You can use them on the SLNG hub. So you've got some resource there that people can just dip into as well. And we are going to make it accessible to others as well. So, if there's fitness instructors and lifeguards and front of house teams and things like that that want to just be part of those panels, we're going to have an ability for people just to join those panels and get the CPD points for CIMSPA. So I think that's a really important element. And thank you so much, Susie, for all your help. It's been absolutely fantastic. So I need to come to David now, because David's been to a couple of events for us. David, what did you get out of coming down to Nottingham for a couple of days?
Well, I've been there in a physical capacity, obviously, and I think one of the key things that Don, Anne and Johnny's is referred to there is one of the kind of main things sorry if I'm breaking up here and having some network issues, but I think one of the key things is that Johnny and Donnan have been a real success in terms of bringing people together in the Scottish Leisure Forum, but also when I went, I was introduced to LeisureNet in terms of ActiveNet, and again, I went down to the last one that I went into Nottingham, and I have to say, not only is this book an information professional, when I was there, I was introduced to it from my chief executive, Kieran, and when I went there, it was great to network with so many different other suppliers, and also network with other buyers. I think, you know, in terms of from me, it opened my eyes as well. And as you referred to, David, there may be some companies that you may be not so keen on speaking to, but what I did do is I made time of speaking to them, and I felt, yeah, I did gain from that. And I felt that in terms of whether the trending market and looking at introduction, you know, we're always trying to introduce new products and services. And what I really felt is that it was a real bond, and it was good. You know, it was fantastic in the element of speaking to companies that we're still working very closely with now in terms of, you know, Big Wave, you know, Right Directions, all these companies that we were introduced to at the time, you know, equipment suppliers. So it was just there was a great range, I thought, but I have to say that I was astounded in terms of in terms of the professionalism, how it was coordinated, because again, no easy task. I would say in terms of pulling on them buyers and also all them suppliers together. But in terms of the way it was coordinated, I have to say it was great. From my point of view, I took a lot away from that experience, and again, just that total networking with everybody. And I think it'll be something that'll be really strong in Scotland. As I said, Johnny and Donnan have been key in the whole success of the leisure networking, and we approach it in a capacity of we're all friends. You know, it's not competition, it's friends. We're trying to make sure that we're the best and we succeed in terms of the leisure market. But as I said, we go on really well in Scotland, and I think it'll be brilliant to bring that in terms of to Scotland, you know.
Excellent. Thank you so much, David. It's really interesting because a lot of people talk about it being effective and efficient for suppliers because they're not travelling all over the country. They're going to one place. They've got 16 scheduled meetings, but chance to meet lots of other people. So for them, it's really efficient and effective. But actually, from a time point of view, it's very effective for you as well, because these qualifying things, you know, people book an hour of your time, they'll come up, they'll consume your coffee and a cake that you very generously buy them at the waterfront and things like that. So it's effective and efficient for your time as well, isn't it? This almost qualifying piece using the 20-minute one-to-one meetings.
No, David, I'm going to have to go. I just have to comment on Robin's turning up with the strip and the flag, and you know, I really hope as part of ActiveNet we'll be welcoming all of our English friends up and commiserating them on the result. So fingers crossed for tonight. But I need to go. But
absolutely fine. Well, I'll tell you what, Johnny. If you do beat us, you're buying me only one shot, but of Dalmore King Alexander III. Okay, when we go up to Crete next year.
If we beat you, David, you can have whatever you want.
David, you can have a couple of bottles if we beat you, honestly.
No,
Robin, I look forward
this is recorded. Cheers, Johnny. Take care.
Cheers, guys. Good to see you.
Brilliant. Thanks very much. I'm not sure you know how much that bottle is, Robin, before you start.
I've maybe spoke too soon, I think, there, yeah.
Dalmore have just sold one bottle of scotch for £445,000.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not that. I haven't yet tasted that one. We'll have to see.
Drinking that one.
Brilliant. So we've got Matt and we've got Robin, who are both suppliers. Alan's just had to take a call, but says he's going to come back on. So from what you've heard, Robin, I'll start with you. Is there any questions that you've got of either me or the rest of the panel?
No, I think it's, hold on, someone's just knocked at the door. Come in. I think they're doing a fire risk assessment at the office, so excuse me. Yeah. I think the online opportunity gives a whole different dimension to it, because you can present in a different way online. You can use a PowerPoint. You've got access very quickly to documents, something that you can pull up. Whereas when you're sitting in front of someone, you might have an iPad, and there's a lot of kind of, you know, distracting yourself away from the actual person that you're speaking to. Whereas when you're online, you can have everything set up. You can be quite busy on the screen, but it doesn't affect the relationship you have with the person, because you can speak to them. You can say, right, hold on, bang, quick. It's just a click, and then we'll look at this. Have a look at this video. There's a lot of things that you can do. You would kind of hope that if you've got a decent Wi-Fi connection, that you know you're going to be strong in terms of what you can do online. And listen, I still think there'll be a buzz, even when it's online. It's one of these things. We've all had to engage in this forum, and I've had to deliver pool plant operators training through a medium that I never ever thought we'd have to do, in a subject matter that's very practical. But it's amazing how we adapt and how we can present and how we can, you know, engage. And I'm looking forward to it. I am looking forward to Crieff Hydro. Absolutely, it's three miles down the road for me. So these two events are absolutely brilliant. One's in the office, and one is 3 miles down the road the following year. So I've won a watch in both. But yeah, very much looking forward to it, and looking forward to seeing the engagement between all the Scottish connections as well. And indeed, that I'm sure there will be connections from further afield, and that's the beauty of the online, because you know, you don't have to reside in Scotland to be a part of it, and that's really good as well. You know, that from your perspective could create opportunities to kind of make this event on a larger scale, and it provides maybe a journey for you in the future to have more localised ones, or potentially wider scale, which might suit suppliers. Because sometimes I do a lot of work further afield as well, so you know, you've got opportunities there, David. So this one will be a good wee event to test on that.
Thank you, Robin, and that's a really good intro, because watch this space. We're building plans at this moment in time, so thank you for that.
Sorry, I didn't want to steal your thunder there.
Oh, that's fine, mate. That's fine. Matt, are you there? Is there anything you'd like to know based on what you'd heard?
Hi, David. No, I think for us at Hustle, you know, the event, whether in person or digitally, I mean, I echo the sentiment really. You know, the benefit for us is about the network and the collaboration. You know, to have the opportunity to sit down with multiple operators, some of which are existing customers, some are, you know, customers we'd love to talk with, and to have that opportunity really to gain insight, to build collaboration. And I really liked your point around challenging sentiment and the idea of encouraging operators and suppliers to connect where you think there might be some synergy that isn't currently being explored, and that adds value to the event for everyone. I think for us as a supplier and for operators, because you know, maybe the opportunity to view things slightly differently and to be guided in that way is very positive. You know, to see partnerships in a different way. So we appreciate that. I agree with what Robin said, and I agree with what everyone has said. You know, that the network scale and collaboration is for me where the power is. David, McCorkindale, you said, you know, we're all friends, and I really like that sentiment as well. You know, I think what's become apparent across the health and fitness and well-being industry over the last 18-24 months is, you know, the sense of togetherness, of purpose, of being part of something that's perhaps bigger than our individual organizations, with a desire to improve the public health. And I think as a sentiment, you know, that's great. There's lots of different organizations that fit into the jigsaw puzzle of this industry, and I think it's really nice to have the opportunity for ActiveNet, either in person, I'm looking forward to next year, but you know, online, like we said, we've all become more comfortable. To have the opportunity to kind of work towards that is very powerful, to have conversations that perhaps we wouldn't have. So I'm looking forward to it. I know we got a lot of value from the online event earlier in the year and had some really great conversations. So again, we look forward to that and look forward to the opportunity to have conversations with operators to encourage a slightly different viewpoint or a different way of looking at things in this, to overcome the current challenges that we have. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Matt. Dawn-Ann or Susie, is there anything you'd like to add before we close this session?
Well, for me, David, I think the other thing is, with my Scottish Leisure Network group hat on, as we keep referring to, every year we're challenging ourselves for what events we can put on for members, how we can bring more value to the existing members, because that's us sitting at 46 member organisations across charitable trusts, local authorities and colleges and universities in Scotland. It's huge. So actually we get the chance to speak with Scotland just through our own network. But the thing is, there'll only be members if we continue to bring value, and the opportunity to bring ActiveNet to Scotland and Tartanage is absolutely phenomenal. So I'm happy with that. But yeah, we're really looking forward to it, and we're really looking forward to supporting you too.
Thank you very much, Dawn. Susie, anything to add?
Yeah, thanks, David. I would reiterate exactly what Dawn-Ann has just mentioned there. I think for me, there's also an aspect of the work that we do at CIMSPA and Scottish Leisure Network Group to help support professional development, and actually been able to use our networks to look to deliver sessions that actually are very, very topical when we look at COVID recovery, and actually what does a sector skills strategy look like for the next 5 or 10 years? How can we support that long-term development for people and for organisations? But there's also the aspect of actually hearing from the key strategic players in Scotland and actually finding out more about what their strategic plans are, because ultimately those plans have an impact on a lot of the organisations that are going to be involved in ActiveNet as well. So that for me is a key critical piece, and I'm really, really excited to hear the breakout sessions and the keynote session as well, and what people are discussing there.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for all of the panelists. Anybody can join us. We're on the 8th of September. For buyers, the operators, there's no charge to attending whatsoever. So it's your time effectively that you're using in an effective and efficient way. If anybody wants to have a bit more detail, have a look at our website, which is active-net.org. And if you're interested in attending, just give me a shout at David Monkhouse at leisure-net.org. Panelists, thank you so much. Robin and Matt, thank you for joining us. Unfortunately, Alan does not manage to get back online. We are going to share this recording, so enjoy. Thank you very much for your time, everyone. Enjoy your weekends. Bye-bye.